Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is very special because it is in collaboration with Tarot with Tay. This is my second collab with her on this channel and I'm so happy to be coming together again. Tay is, of course, a fellow tarot reader here on this platform who I actually had the pleasure of meeting in person at the very start of this year? Yes, the beginning of 2022 in Florida. And from the moment we met, it was just immaculate vibes. It was beautiful. We vibed together so well. I mean, I could tell just from our online interactions, but she is a beautiful soul. Her attitude towards life is so inspiring, so refreshing, and I have to say, in my opinion, she is one of the most unique and original tarot readers on this channel. She is always coming up with the most interesting topics and beautiful delivery, beautiful messages, and by the way, she is also an extremely talented musician. So I'm going to have her channel and her music and her socials linked below for you guys to do yourselves a favor and check her out. I'm telling you, you will immediately feel uplifted just by being around her energy. That is the vibe that she has. She is like the sun. She is like sunshine. That's how I feel her. Like freaking gold, okay? I'm just so grateful to have her in my life. And so the topic that we're going to be doing today, over here on this channel, we are going to be finding out what truth is ready to reveal itself to you. So something that you guys have not seen until now, but it's ready to make itself known to you. This could be literally any message, and there could actually be multiple messages that come through in one reading. And then over on Tay's channel, she's going to be doing what you don't see about yourself, the traits and qualities within you that you are not aware of or that you're not embracing. So that is the set that we have prepared for you today. So let's move into the option selection. There are 3 readings for you guys to choose from today. So I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close, one by one, and then please pick whichever one or ones you feel drawn to the most. Number 1 is red Jasper. Number 2 is angel aura quartz. And number 3 is amethyst. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the red Jasper heart, this is going to be your reading all about the truth or truths that are ready to reveal themselves to you right now. So we're going to start off the reading with these oracle cards that I have here. We're going to lay these out in a row, and then we are also going to get a row of clarifying tarot cards underneath. So let's see what we have for your initial energies. We're starting off with the Thunder Moon with the word change. Rebirth, growth, transforming, healing, feel your way through. Exposed and revealed. Tenth house. Crystalline spirit. You are creation itself. You can reach anyone at any time with your pure source light without taking any residual energy on. And then we have faith in your dreams with the waxing crescent moon. Okay, I'm hearing a message of keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right path. You are on to something. Keep going. Keep moving forward. For those of you who are questioning your path, questioning decisions that you've made, especially regarding your career, the type of profession you are pursuing or considering, who you are becoming in the world, how you are defining yourself to the public, how you are presenting yourself to your audience. You are on to something, you're doing the right thing, you are on the right path. I'm also hearing that your inner child is very proud of you and would be very happy to see the life that you are leading, or to see the direction that you are feeling called in. That would make your inner child very happy. There's a lot of symbolism of transformation in this spread as well. This butterfly here is a sign of transformation. We also have rebirth. Oh, we literally have the keyword transforming. We have change. I'm feeling pretty strong Scorpio energy for you guys. This rebirth card makes me think of Scorpio, and also this change card, with it being a numerological 8, it is making me think of the 8th house, which is Scorpio energy. And then we have Capricorn energy here with the 10th house. So you could have Scorpio or Capricorn placements. And if you do, I would recommend looking into the meaning of those placements more, because it could give you more insight about your strengths and about a life path that will make you most happy. It could also be that another person in your life who is a Scorpio or a Capricorn, or who has those placements, is going to be very significant to you. And I know we're kind of already in this window, but the period between Scorpio and Capricorn season could be very significant for you guys. So basically late October to late January. Okay, so the truth that wants to come out for you guys, it does have to do, I think, with your career, with the profession that you're choosing, with how you see yourself fitting in the rest of the world, like how you perceive the role you have in this world. And this is a truth that is going to make you more confident and make you believe in your dreams more. So for those of you who doubt yourself, who doubt the path that you've chosen, or doubt your ability to pursue the path that you want, this is almost Spirit saying, no, not almost, this is Spirit saying, if you really saw the truth, you would not doubt yourself. If you really saw the truth, you would believe in yourself so much. Also looking at this, okay, there's a lot, but also looking at this rebirth card, this person is underwater, but they're about to come up to the surface. And I'm just thinking of that moment of relief. You know, when you've been underwater for a long time and you start to feel that pressure and like burning in your lungs, like, oh my gosh, I need oxygen. And you come up to the surface and you're just like, and that first breath of air feels so good. So there's some change coming in your life that feels like that breath of air after you haven't breathed for a long time. It feels like a huge weight is being lifted. Literally feels like you can breathe again, like burdens are gone, like stresses are gone. And this also gives me Uranus energy. So let me expand that window of time to Aquarius season as well. So what do we say? Late October to late February. This is a really important period for you guys. But this is change that is generally quite intense and quite unpredictable. A couple things that might be happening for you guys. One is that something that will reveal itself to you is that the people you once looked up to in a professional sense, that you thought like they were so above you, that they were so on another level, you are learning something about them that makes you relate to them a lot more. And I think specifically because we have these messages of, we have this Scorpio energy of release, of making friends with your shadow, and that allowing you to transform. You could be learning something about, it's like someone you look up to, could even say an idol, a hero, or your professional inspiration, that they have the same shadows as you, or they've dealt with the same struggles as you. Or maybe they have a similar past to you, something that you once felt ashamed of. And it's this feeling of, I'm not alone, or even if I do have this shadow, I can still succeed. Just to give a very easy example of this energy, of course, it can be applied in so many different situations, but let's say you struggle with depression, and that is something that has really held you back from pursuing the career you want, or from getting ahead in your career. Maybe it's hard to find motivation, maybe it's hard to find confidence, or to find the energy, or to find hope. And maybe you want to be a rapper like Tay, like Celebrity the Rapper. And then you see this interview with your favorite rapper because spirit will guide you towards it. And this very same rapper is talking about that they struggle with depression, or talking about their struggles with depression. And it's like, it makes you feel less alone. It makes you feel like you can relate to each other that much more. And if they can do it, I can do it too. If they could find the light at the end of the tunnel, I can too. And so hearing their story and how they deal with it, and how they stay hopeful, and how they stay productive, and how they stay confident, is going to be a huge help to you. Pay attention to, like, if you guys spend time on social media, pay attention to your faves content, or content related to them, or the videos that are showing up in your recommended. But let me be the one to tell you, if you have not seen this yet, or seen evidence of this yet in the 3D, the very ones that you look up to, especially in a career sense, they have a lot more in common with you than you might think, especially when it comes to mental struggles, their shadow side, dark past that they might have, struggles and mistakes that they might have made in the past. If you were ever to meet them, they could relate to you a lot. They could empathize with you a lot. And I think there's something about that. It takes a weight off you of, like, I don't have to be ashamed of this. And also it takes a weight off you of, like, I can do this. I can do this. I can succeed even with my shadows. I can succeed even with my struggles. There's also something coming up, and maybe this is just for some of you, but if you work with someone who has a very stifling energy, you know, that type of person where when they come in the room, it just becomes incredibly tense and uncomfortable. Maybe they're very controlling, maybe they're very judgmental, whatever it might be. Anyone in your work environment that has that kind of draining, unnerving energy, they will be gone from your workplace, which might be kind of unexpected, maybe for whatever reason. Maybe someone's getting fired, maybe someone's getting transferred, or they're just quitting. But stressful influences are leaving your place of work, and that will make you a lot more at peace and a lot more confident as well. I also want to say that this group, there are some beliefs that you hold on to, that you've internalized from your childhood, that are not true and that are hindering you on your path to success. Because I'm also seeing this 10th house as like parents or authority figures. And they instilled in you, or they passed on to you some beliefs about work or money or certain types of work that I think you unconsciously internalized and that are holding you back now. Because when we're very little, it's like whatever our parents say or whatever our parents think, that becomes the law, that becomes the truth. Because they know best, because they're grown-ups. They know everything, I know nothing. You know, they're just a human with opinions that are very subjective, but we don't see it that way when we're little. And it's like, let's go back to that rapper example. And again, please apply this to your situation. But this person might have grown up being told by their parents or implied by their parents that pursuing music or entertainment is not a viable option. You will not be taken seriously, or you won't make money, you won't be successful. It may have been something they directly told you, or maybe you heard them make, you know, what is it called? Like well, just making casual remarks. Maybe they're watching TV and there's like a rapper's music video on TV and they make some dumb comment, they make some condescending comment, and child, you internalize that. Or maybe it was instilled in you that making money and finding abundance and being successful is hard, and that most people will not get to experience that, or you just have to be very lucky. If you don't have connections, forget about it. Whatever it is that they told you, or you just indirectly heard them say, I think it is still affecting you. But you might not notice that. It's like there's the truth that you think you believe in your conscious mind, but your unconscious mind still has some internalized biases, and it could be really hard to look at those because you don't want to identify with them. If I can use myself as an example, and this makes me emotional and it does kind of make me ashamed, but I have dealt with a lot of like internalized misogyny myself, and internalized biphobia towards myself. And obviously my conscious mind doesn't identify with that, right? My conscious mind is like, oh yeah, like I'm progressive, I'm accepting, whatever. But I have those biases somewhere in my brain, and I do think that they affect the way I interact with the world and the way I interact with people. And so obviously you don't want to, you don't want to admit that you might have those somewhere in your brain. But you don't have to identify with them, and they are not you. They are not you, but they can still affect you. And so maybe some of the truth that wants to be revealed is like biases or prejudices that they're not you. They were programmed into you, perhaps by a more closed-minded generation or a closed-minded family. And they just kind of linger there, even if your conscious mind knows better, even if your conscious mind knows it's bullshit. It can be very hard to unlearn those things. But you have to face them. You have to admit that they're there. Yeah, with like exposed and revealed. And this is a solar plexus chakra card. So, and a world card, because we have the number 21. So this is all about releasing things that have been holding you back, that have been making you doubt yourself, that have been weighing on your self-esteem, and freeing yourself from shame. I think when you free yourself from shame and judgments that you've put on yourself, it's going to feel like this moment of coming up from the water and breathing in that air. Looking at this crystal, is it crystalline or crystalline? I am not sure. But this message of you can reach anyone at any time with your pure source light without taking any residual energy on, I think this message is so important because, and let me try to put this into words, but I think that you guys have taken on a lot of stuff that is not you, taken on a lot of stuff that is not yours. I think that that's just a part of being human, but especially if you guys consider yourself empaths, this could very much be amplified for you. But we don't want to take away from that a lesson of like, oh, I guess I can't connect to people, or I guess I have to build walls between myself and others because I don't want to take on their residual energy. This card is saying you can very much still connect to others. You can send energy to others. You can send love to others without taking on their negative energy. You just have to put some measures in place. This is why recently I'm like always wearing this. This is a black obsidian bracelet. I keep black crystals around me. I listen to mantras to clear myself of negative energy. Like I'm always setting that intention. But it doesn't mean that you can't be out there connecting with others, that you can't be out there interacting with others. And I think that's something that's very hard, because when we have these negative experiences of like taking on that heavy energy, it can be tempting to just be like, I'm not going to trust people anymore. I'm not going to connect to people anymore. I'm not going to open up to people anymore. Like, I don't trust the world. I don't trust the energies that are out there. But this card is reminding you that you still can go out into that world, share your light out to the world without having to take on the darkness. Okay, so let's get into the tarot now. And we are going to take the same number, so 6 cards, to clarify these energies. I think many of you guys are destined to, like with the world energy here and with the 10th house, you are destined to a high position, a high status, a high reputation, being seen and valued by many people. You could either be in the public eye, or you are really serving the public and serving the community, a large amount of people with your career. Some of you guys might feel called to get into politics. Take that as it resonates. It could just be a few of you, but that's definitely a career where you can make a huge impact on the public, on your community. And I could definitely see that being a profession where you would have a negative, like a stigma towards it or a negative bias towards it, because we're always hearing people shit talk politicians. Okay. We're starting off with, I can't remember if I wanted to do reversals. Well, I already flipped this over. So we're starting off with Justice. Then we have the Two of Pentacles. The Hierophant. The Three of Pentacles. Interesting, we have Capricorn energy clarifying Capricorn energy. The Two of Wands. Ooh, and some cards just fell on the floor. And we also have the Fool. Okay, let me just pick up these cards. Okay. So, it's interesting that the Fool comes out, because I was thinking about it earlier in this reading when I was talking about taking on a lot of energy that isn't you. Sometimes the Fool makes me think about releasing baggage, because it's the number 0 and it has this feeling of a clean start, a fresh start. The Fool is very carefree as well. Some of you guys have been moving through this world in an uptight energy. Uptight, highly strung, irritable, like difficult to let loose, difficult to have fun. And I think that you're coming back into your original energy, which is carefree, adventurous, playful. This is who you really are at heart. I think that this is also a message for a few of you, but it may be time to like stop drinking or quit a certain substance, whether it's like drinking or smoking or caffeine or whatever it might be. There's kind of this message of struggling to get back to your original carefree energy, and then maybe like using substances as a way to simulate being back in that carefree energy, but it's never really the same, which is maybe just for a few of you. But if you've been considering like giving up a certain substance, I do think that that is being confirmed here, that that would be good for you. I also think that meditation could be very beneficial for this group, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. Even if you're not successful in completely clearing your mind, just the act of sitting and being present and setting that intention will be enough. I want to talk about the Hierophant and exposed and revealed. It's kind of interesting how these images go together. It's like we have the human head here and their consciousness is expanding out, and this is almost like their third eye, their non-physical eye. These are like the cords that connect their human brain to their third eye and allow them to receive higher insights. I think that you guys, if you are already in therapy, I think that a session that you have soon could lead to a very important epiphany regarding your childhood, authority figures, the way you were educated, and how you have kind of been lied to by something there, or how those things distorted your perception of yourself. If you do not, I think you could really benefit from going to therapy or speaking to a professional if you can. I think it would reveal a lot of truths about you and about your life that could benefit you. The Hierophant is a card that makes me think this. I also want to say this, something is gaining momentum because we have a waxing moon and we also have the number 7, which is the number of the Chariot. So things gaining momentum, things gaining speed. Spirit really wants to confirm to you that you are moving forward. Also, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but the person below me is singing. So some of you guys might be singers and that's a confirmation for you, or Spirit is encouraging you to sing. It could be really good for your mental health, really good for your peace of mind. Singing often helps me calm down when I'm anxious, and I think that it's an actual thing. Singing stimulates your freaking sympathetic nervous system, I think. Feel free to correct me, but I feel like I remember reading that somewhere. Anyway, it seems to help me. The Fool is moving forward and doesn't really know where he's going. And so I think that something Spirit wants to remind you of is that no matter what, your inner compass is guiding you in the right direction, whether you realize it or not. So all you have to do is relax and keep moving forward, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you will end up where you need to be. It's almost like the less you think, the better. That is not black and white advice for everyone, but I think it's important for this group because I think this is a group that thinks a lot. And is in their head a lot. So for you guys, that is advice. The less you think, the better. As long as you move forward with faith, the Fool is also about faith. It's very close to source energy. And it's open. This Fool is taking the leap of faith because they know that the universe will catch them. This could be your sign to take that leap of faith, or in general, just a message that you don't need to think about it, just keep moving forward. without thinking, you will go in the right direction. Especially after you remove these programs from your brain. Because I think sometimes you have that voice in your head that sounds like your inner voice, and that tries to dictate what you do, what you can and can't do, what you should and shouldn't do, and the world is this way, the world is that way. That is not your inner voice. That's like, for example, oh, that's the voice of my mother, you know, that is just in my head now. Or that's the voice of my third grade teacher. That's the voice, you know, that's the voice of the priest or whatever. It's the consciousness of others that has almost like infiltrated, that you mistake for your own inner narrative or for your own guidance. And once you're able to identify, like, oh, that's a fragment of that person that I internalized at this age who keeps telling me this thing. That's not me. I can let go of that. The more you strip that down, that's when your inner voice shines through. And as long as you follow that inner voice without thinking, you will get to where you're meant to be. And I think this happens as an epiphany, like through some therapy session or through a meditation. All those voices that are not you, once you identify them, they flee, they run away. So let's look at this energy as well. We have the 10th house and we have the 3 of Pentacles, which is clarifying it. So like I mentioned, these are both Capricorn energies. Within that window of time that we spoke about, Capricorn season could be particularly important. So like late December to late January, which if you're watching this when it's out, that is very soon. But we have this card that talks about, first of all, this talks about increased work ethic. So moving into the new year in 2023, you might feel a lot more motivated to put effort into projects, to put effort into things around your house, put effort into things that make you happy. But there is also a message of teamwork and collaboration here. So you might find success with other people in your life. You might find success as a team, as a duo, as a trio. Some of you, I'm hearing, you'll find success with trusted friends, either as a unit or you're just growing together and achieving goals together and making it to the top together. I'm confused because I'm not going in order. I usually go like this. Growth, transforming, healing, feel your way through, clarified by the 2 of Pentacles. This is also Capricorn energy. And we have Thunder Moon with change. Both of these cards have an energy of balance in them, of finding balance, of restoring balance. There's a harmony that is coming back to your life. I think with Justice clarifying the change card, this change does have to do with people exiting your life. We did have that example of like someone leaving your workplace. There's a person or multiple people that are leaving your life, and that is going to relieve your stress. And I'm also hearing that you don't have to feel guilty about that. If someone leaves your life and you feel relieved, you don't have to feel guilty about that. And this could also be more metaphorical, that someone's influence on you is leaving. Like they're leaving your head. You are evicting them from your head because they were not paying rent. They were living in your head and not paying rent, so you evicted them. And that is restoring peace and harmony into your life. I'm thinking of this feel your way through there's a message about what you prioritize in your life might change over time, and that's okay. And that's also something that you don't have to feel guilty about. Because the Two of Pentacles has this feeling of like, you know, you're multitasking, you're trying to juggle other things. In a lot of decks, and like this one, the Pentacles are on different levels, like one is more up and one is more down. On a few decks they're even, but in this deck we have that different level thing going on. So it kind of speaks to how we juggle the different things in our life and how we prioritize different things in our life. It can talk about how we manage when we're busy. It can talk about like working 2 jobs or just having a lot on your plate. And you might find that your priorities change as time goes on, as you get older, as you get closer to this inner voice. And I think that Spirit just wants to remind you that it's okay to change your mind. And a big theme of this reading is just releasing shame and releasing guilt. And particularly in this instance, shame and guilt when it comes to finally putting yourself first. But I'm trying to think of an example of like feeling guilty about having different priorities. But it is just not coming to my mind right now. Maybe it will later. All I can think about, and this is this is kind of a dumb example, but like I used to be, when I was like a teenager, I used to be really obsessed with this like Japanese band, and then I could feel myself losing interest, and for some reason that made me feel bad. Like it made me feel guilty, it made me feel sad, but like your preferences are going to change. Essentially, your preferences are going to change, your interests are going to change. Maybe you were like really into fitness at one point and now that's not really your thing anymore, and that's okay. Maybe a hobby that you spent so many years on, it's like, it's not really inspiring me anymore. And I guess Spirit is saying you don't have to feel like a quitter, or you don't have to feel bad for rearranging your life. I don't know, maybe someday this channel is not going to be my priority anymore, and I'm going to be really focused on something else. And if that moment comes, I should let myself do that. I guess allow yourself to change and fluctuate. If you start to have different preferences or different priorities, that is okay. So finally, let's look at these energies together, the crystalline lean spirit, which is clarified by the Two of Wands. Actually, let me just mention, we have Aquarius energy, Libra energy, Taurus energy, Capricorn, and then this is Aries energy. The Two of Wands can speak about partnerships, so I think it's interesting that it comes out clarifying this card that talks about being able to reach anyone at any time. The Two of Wands also talks about doors being open for you. So something that you guys should know, I think, is that someone's higher self is ready to talk to you, almost as if they are sending an invitation to you. It's coming through as if their energetic door is open for you and you have permission to access their energy. Even if this is someone you don't know in person, or even if this is someone you are not speaking to in the 3D right now, it's as if they're saying, they're allowing you to come forward and to step into their energy and to connect with them. Their higher self gives you permission to access their energy, to gain knowledge about them, to contact them in your dream state, to receive information and messages from them. You have that invitation from your person of interest, or from, it could even be from the person you look up to professionally that we spoke about earlier, their higher self invites you to access them. And I also really suggest that you guys watch Tay's reading, because the Two of Wands is a card that indicates to me there are aspects of you that you're not seeing yet, especially talents, especially areas of expertise, especially strengths. There's new facets to you that you're not aware of yet, but when you do become aware of them and embrace them, it's going to open so many doors for you. I also think that for many of you guys, the career that you're interested in, the career that you want to pursue, it's not the be all end all, and it's not your most like definitive life purpose, but you should still pursue it. It's still worthwhile. Perhaps because it's an important stepping stone to lead you to a different career in the future. Or it's one of many careers that you would be successful in. And I think this is coming through to not put so much stress on yourself of like, it has to be this. This is the end goal. This is my destiny. Because I think thinking that way can put a lot of pressure on yourself. Approach your projects with a more open mind. And I could almost say to take your ego out of it and think about the consciousness of the career itself, or the consciousness of the project itself, of the creations itself. And not making it all about, and it's about striking balance, of course, with these cards, but not making it all about what am I meant to become? What am I meant to achieve? How am I meant to define and identify myself? Those are important questions, but it's not all about that, because there's another counterpart in this equation. And that other counterpart is your career, is your project, is your creative work, which very much has its own distinct energetic signature and consciousness. So we are asking those questions of what am I meant to become? What am I meant to achieve? But also, how can I be a vessel for whatever wants to come through? What is this project meant to do in the world? Where is this creative work meant to go? What is it meant to become? And how can I facilitate that? Like, it's not all about where you're going. It's also like, what does your book want to be? Just for an example, what does your book want to be, and whom does your book want to reach? And what impact does your book want to have? What does your music want to be? Detached from your judgment as a consciousness, what does it want to be? And maybe that's a kind of weird thing to think about from your analytical brain, but I think you'll be able to see those answers when you're in a meditative state or when you're in a creative trance. It's not just about fulfilling our ego with our achievements and our portfolio. It's also about being that vessel for creations to come through and the way that they want to and when they want to, and who they feel like showing themselves to, whether that's 3 people or 3 million people. And not tying your worth or your success to where your works go or how your works perform, because at the end of the day, it was their choice. And, it's the same for my readings. Like, I can't control who they reach. It's not up to me. It's up to the reading. Who it wants to find and who it is meant for. Yeah. I don't even remember how I got on that, but let's get into the final card. So there's 2 more oracle decks that I want to use for you guys. The first one is the fallback oracle deck. Whoop. Oh, fallback, the titular card from the fallback deck. Retreat, pull back your energy, step away, take a needed break. You will awaken to a new point of view. It's amazing what a perspective shift can do. Yes. Oh, and one more. We also have, create your joy, smile and laugh. You deserve to be happy for no reason. Take time to do what feels good. Take a break and have fun, basically. So finally, we are going to get a message from the Spirit Cat Oracle deck. Let's see what Spirit Cat wants to come forward to you today. Aiko! Oh, so that means child of love, by the way, is a Japanese name, but this is the cat. I'm thinking of Janae Aiko now, who is one of my favorite vocalists. Just beautiful, beautiful. Okay, anyway, let's read Aiko's message. Meet Aiko. She is a soft being of pure love. She is a nest of comfort and compassion. She loves unconditionally and embraces fully without exception. She transmutes pain and failure into blessings and wisdom. When you feel vulnerable or self-doubting, she will engulf you in love and solace. She can see your supposed imperfections as mere beloved quirks. She salutes the true spirit in you. Love yourself as Aiko does, and let that love spread outward to your friends, family, and fellow human beings. Let go of judgments and love everyone just as they are. I feel very emotional when I read this message because it's coming through as I read it that for many of you, it's like, I needed someone like this in my life. I needed someone like this when I was growing up. If I had someone like this, I feel like I could have turned out differently, or life could have turned out differently. And I think your guardian angels want to give you this love. And there's also a message coming through that the very people who cast judgments upon you are the very people who need this kind of unconditional love the most. Because, like, the only reason they would act that way is because they don't know unconditional love. They haven't felt unconditional love. They are the ones who need love the most. And you don't have to be the one to give that to them. If you can, that's amazing. That takes a lot of strength. And you can certainly send it to them from afar. You can send it to them energetically without having to interact with them on a human-to-human basis. But it's like there's a message of it's those very people who are lacking love, who are lacking true joy. And they need it. I am being reminded of this strength card. Like it's a feeling of wishing well to those who have hurt you, forgiveness, sending love to everyone, even the terrible people of this world, unconditionally spreading your light. And this is reminding me of, have you guys heard of Happy Twins 1111, Charlotte? I love her so much. I went to a Zoom workshop of hers. Well, not went to, I participated in a Zoom workshop of hers. It was actually her and ASO. And she was describing the process of, awakening and finding your light and shining your light as you being a lighthouse. And a lighthouse does not discriminate, right? It just shines its light out to the whole sea, to all of the boats. All of the boats can see it. It's not going like, oh, fuck that boat over there. I'm not going to shine my light over there. It shines indiscriminately. And when you truly come to find this unconditional love, you will shine your light to everyone. Even those who may have hurt you, who may have doubted you. Because it's those people who are lost. It's those people who need love. But I just want to close off this reading by letting you guys know that to give yourself permission to release shame, that you have nothing to be ashamed of, that you have nothing to feel guilty for, that your heart is pure, that your heart is lovable, and that you are surrounded by divine love at all times. And I am sending you love. Okay, so this was an emotional reading. But I'm very grateful that I was able to sit with your energy, that I was able to work through these messages. It was a powerful one. I hope that you guys got something out of that. And I think I'm going to end it here. So thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely check out Tay's video. If you feel called to it, it will be linked down below for you. And if you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Instagram, where I post pick a card readings, Patreon. Actually, I'm taking a break from Instagram right now in the month of December, but you can still check it out because there are timeless readings. You can find me on Patreon, where we have over 50 exclusive pick a card readings, maybe more when you're watching this, and 2 new ones every month, and you get to choose the topic for those. You can find me on my music channel, and you can find me on my website, kinotarot.com, where we have merch. Yeah, I did this outro a bit differently, and that always throws me off. But anyway, thank you so much for supporting my channel and for supporting me. And I'm sending you guys so much love to your loved ones, your spirit guides, and your whole spiritual team. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the Angel Aura Quartz, this is going to be a reading all about the truth or truths that are ready to reveal themselves to you right now. So as you probably noticed, I already have 3 tarot cards laid out for you guys, and the reason is because last night I had a very vivid dream that I was giving someone a tarot reading, and these were the exact 3 cards that came out. Every now and then I will have a dream that I'm doing a reading like the night before I'm planning to film, and when that does happen, I feel like the message could be relevant to some who chose this group. So I just wanted to, and it's funny, like I remember exactly what I was talking about and what I was saying for each card, which doesn't happen very often. So I just wanted to mention what was said in that dream in case it is relevant for this group. I was giving a personal reading to this woman. I don't know who she was. It's not someone I know in the 3D. But I remember it was a woman. She was probably in her 40s, and she had short, like shoulder length dark hair and dark skin, and she was saying that she wanted to redo her house, as in she wanted to knock her house down to the ground and build a new one and have a completely new house. And she was asking me, specifically the part that she was asking me is, am I going to be able to knock my house down? She wanted to knock down her house. And so I got these 3 cards, and you know, the first one is the Tower. And for those of you who are familiar with tarot, this can be a kind of scary card to get. However, in the dream, the context of this card was so positive, because it was like, yes, you will be able to knock down this house that you want to knock down. And then we had the 10 of Cups in the reverse and the Page of Swords. So It may not go exactly how you planned. There might be some things that don't go exactly your way in this process, but if you keep an open mind and you get a little bit creative, so if you don't become too rigid in one way that you want everything to pan out and think of new innovative ideas, you can make a beautiful new house. So that was the message. Of course, maybe for some of you, it's very specifically that, but of course we can interpret that in a bit more of a metaphorical sense for those of you who have been longing for some kind of change to happen in your life. Change is coming, meaning that the old ways are going to be gone. The old life is going to be knocked down, or that thing that you want to leave, that thing that you want to walk away from, you will be able to do that. It might not change exactly how you envisioned it, but if you are able to adapt to the circumstances, you can make something amazing out of it. It's interesting, you know, the 10 of Cups in the upright, it's almost like a fantasy. It's like a fairy tale. It's everything playing out exactly how you dreamed it. Like, I could not ask for anything better. It's like your fantasy's coming true. So with this being in the reverse, it's like, it may not go exactly as expected. And if I can just give an example of this that is easy to understand, this could be someone who thinks, once this tower is knocked down, everything's going to be perfect. If only I can just get out of this situation, then I'll be completely happy. So, you know, if only I can leave this job, then everything will be great because I can focus on my own business, or I can focus on doing what I really want to do. Or if I just could only leave this living situation, then everything would be great because, I don't know, I'll have my own place, or I'll be away from the toxicity. It's like, if only this old thing leaves, everything will be fine. And so this is the universe confirming that, yes, that old thing is going to leave, but it might not exactly bring that utopia or like that fantasy come true that you think it's going to bring. The change that is coming in place of that old situation might be a little bit different than what you were expecting. Another thing that was coming through really strongly in the dream was the fact that this is Mars and Pisces. Those are the astrological placements that are associated with the 10 of Cups, Mars and Pisces. When I think of Pisces, it's kind of, you know, dreamy, it's idealistic, it romanticizes. Whereas the energy of Mars, that requires like hard work and motivation and effort. So what might be happening here is we're getting overwhelmed by the amount of effort that something takes, or something is more difficult than we expected. And one example that did come to my mind is someone being like if only I can quit my job, then I can finally start on my business. Or I can finally start writing my book. Like, it's going to be amazing when I leave my job because then I'll have like 24 hours a day. I'll have all the time I want to do to work on this thing. And you start to kind of romanticize that future once you leave your job. And so the universe is saying, yes, you will leave your job, but then you might come up on some other obstacles. Maybe even after quitting your job, it's still hard to find motivation. Or maybe other things in life are going to happen that are going to take away your time or energy or motivation. So I guess the universe just wants to say to be realistic. It's not to say that you won't manifest the things that you want to, but to understand that getting this thing is not going to immediately solve all your problems. It's not going to immediately make you like everything is perfect and I'll never be sad again. Like, there's still going to be some obstacles, or there's still going to be some kinks to work out. And so to not put this thing on a pedestal or have like expectations that are through the roof, because life is still life and things still go wrong sometimes. But with the Page of Swords, the way this came through was to get creative, or to be able to pivot, to be able to be adaptable with new ideas. Like, you will be able to create something that you're very happy with. So this woman in my dream, she knocks down her old house and then gets to work on building the new one. Maybe there's some little accidents, some little things going wrong. It's not turning out exactly how she envisioned it, but if she keeps an open mind, okay, we'll tweak the plan here. You know, maybe we can do this a little bit differently. If she keeps an open mind like that, she can make a gorgeous house, a beautiful house. So yeah, keep an open mind, and I guess try not to put things on a pedestal. Try not to get stuck in it has to be this way so I can be happy, or put all of your eggs of potential happiness in one basket. I hope that makes sense. So that is the end of the interpretation. So let's get into your non-dream reading, your 3D reading. We're gonna lay out these oracle cards in a line, and then we're gonna pull some tarot cards underneath to clarify it. Oh, so, okay. We're starting off with abundance. We have a few weeks from now. So these are probably going together. Abundance is coming to you in a few weeks from now. We have seeing beyond. Saturn. Galactic Federation of Light. Processing the energy of the world. Unity is required to shift into higher dimensional frequencies. And then, wow, yeah, we have your hard work is paying off with the new moon in Capricorn. I'm going to put these together because we have like double Capricorn energy here, with Saturn being the planet that rules over Capricorn. It also rules over Aquarius. So you could have Capricorn or Aquarius placements, or someone important to you could have these placements, someone significant in your life. This could also be indicating that Capricorn and Aquarius season are going to be significant for this group. So that is the period from late December to late February. Another thing that I'm noticing is that all of the numbers that we have here are 30s numbers, like 31, 36, 38. If you are this age, or if you are going to be this age in the future, this could be a year that is very, very blessed for you. It's a year of your life that will be a peak of some sorts, a peak in your career, a peak in your financial situation, a peak in your success. Like one of these ages, or all of these ages, are going to be very, very good years for you. And I'm seeing a little bit of Aquarius energy too, because this 8-pointed star, or is it 8-pointed? Whatever, I think so. This star reminds me of the star in the star card, which is Aquarius energy. It would be really cool if some of you guys are actually turning one of these ages in Capricorn season or in Aquarius season. Let me know if you are, because that is definitely like a confirmation that this is your group. But this is so beautiful. Like abundance is coming to you in a few weeks from now, and your hard work is going to pay off. And it's interesting that the topic of this reading is truths that need to be revealed to you. So I feel like you guys need to know this in advance. You need to know that this abundance is coming to you before it happens, so that you know not to give up. This is your sign to keep going. Especially for those of you who are like considering, should I keep going or should I give up? Or maybe you're even on the brink of giving up. Do not. Don't give up, because your hard work is going to pay off very soon, literally within a few weeks. And I noticed just now that this is the Hunter moon. So there's a feeling of whatever you're chasing, whatever you're pursuing, you are going to reach it. And I could translate this a bit more broadly as harvest. So as you really getting to enjoy the fruits of your labor and everything being worth it, I think that what the universe really wants you to know is that everything is going to be worth it for you guys. I also think that seeing beyond is really relevant to this energy, because one thing that I think is really important with Saturn energy, and wait a minute, don't we have a new moon in Capricorn coming up soon? I think we do. This video is going to be up in December, and I think there's going to be a new moon in Capricorn. I don't know the exact date, but I think it will be sometime in late December. So that could be an important time for you guys if you happen to be watching this in the month of December. But what was I saying? What's really important with Saturn energy is that it is a disciplined energy, it is a mature energy, it's a patient energy. Saturn gives me the vibe of someone who like keeps their head down and buckles down and gets things done even when times are tough, and especially even when they are not receiving instant gratification, or even when they're not receiving a whole lot of positive reinforcement. An easy example for me to give would be someone who is starting a YouTube channel. And, you know, it takes time to start really gaining a significant traction on your videos. So, you know, it would be someone who they're putting out videos and maybe they're not getting the response they wanted, but they don't let that get them down. They just keep going. They ignore that, almost like they are getting tunnel vision. And they're not even listening to those voices of, oh, it's not worth it, it's not gonna work, because they are determined to make it work. Now, with that being said, they could be analyzing how they can do better and tweaking what they're doing, but by no means are they going to give up. Even if this situation prolongs for some time, they're gonna keep going, because they don't need that instant gratification of getting 1 million views right away. They're like, I'm in it for the long haul. I understand this is gonna take time and I am committed to it. And as long as I commit to it and set my mind to it, it's gonna happen at some point. That's the energy of Saturn. Saturn also has, there's a vibe of maturity or receiving blessings later on, receiving blessings at an older age. And I think that you guys have the gift of really looking in the long term. Even if I'm not seeing the benefits of this now, it is going to pay off in the long term. I'm also thinking of the energy. This is like putting money away for retirement. Like, sure, it might be more fun to spend a bunch of money now, but future me is going to thank me for putting this money aside now. And I think the universe wants you to know that your future self is going to be so grateful for the efforts that you're putting in right now. So grateful that you didn't give up, that you didn't take the easy way out. It's all going to be worth it in the end. And I think that that's what this seeing beyond is talking about. Being able to look into the longer term future, being able to see, literally see and have visions of the future you who is benefiting from your previous efforts, and seeing beyond the illusion of just the 3D reality that exists right now. Just because it's this way now, it doesn't mean it's going to remain this way forever. It doesn't mean that my wish is not going to come true. So with patience, with drive, and with adaptability, like we spoke about with the Page of Swords, all of your hard work is going to pay off. And I love this message of shifting into higher dimensional frequencies. I feel like you guys definitely have the gift of clairvoyance with this third eye card here. And I think that you have a connection. You have some spirit guides who are not earthlings. And that might be another truth that wants to be revealed to you, or something that they would like to officially make their presence known. I think you have a couple of spirit guides around you who are not human. They are from some extraterrestrial origin. They may not be on the same dimension as us, so perhaps you cannot physically see them, but you could see them with your gift of clairvoyance that connects you to other dimensions. You might be able to see them in your dreams as well, because we spent the first, I don't know how many minutes of this reading talking about dreams and astral experiences. Maybe that woman that I was reading for was an extraterrestrial who appeared as a human. But you definitely have a couple of ET guides who are with you. They also want to reveal that to you now. So let's get into the tarot part of this reading. So we're going to lay out a row of tarot cards underneath these to further clarify the messages. And we are using the Dream Vision Tarot. And actually for this group, I didn't take reversals for group number 1, but because a reversal came out here, I feel that perhaps this group we should read reversals. So let's do that. We are starting off with the Hermit in reverse. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Lovers. The Chariot. Oh, Judgment in reverse. And finally, we have the Magician. So I'm just going to make sure that everything is fitting nicely. Okay, yeah, there's definitely a big energy in this reading of spirit guides introducing themselves to you. Especially this part of the spread in the middle is making me think that. We have the Lovers clarifying the Seeing Beyond card, which I think is really interesting because the Lovers is card number 6, and the Third Eye, which is, this is a Third Eye card. If you can see, it has the like indigo colored border. The Third Eye is the 6th chakra. So we have 6 and 6. And also, maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, but the number 36 is 6 times 6, like 6 squared. So yeah, I think 6 might be a lucky number for you guys, or they really just want to emphasize that your third eye chakra is very active and very clear. I also think that these spirit guides could use numbers to communicate with you a lot. So definitely pay attention if you're seeing any repeating numbers. That is your spirit guides trying to give you a message. And I even want to say, like, even if it's not a traditional angel number, so to speak, like, even if it's not, 2222 or like 888, it could literally be like the other night I had a dream and the number. Oh, also dreams I think are definitely very significant because I keep talking about dreams. The number 4179 came out very, very specifically, 4179. So even though that's not technically like a repeating angel number, I still felt that it could be significant. And so I searched up about the meaning. So I guess even pay attention to numbers that are not so conventional and that are like not all the same digit, because I think that numbers and also dreams are the biggest way that these guides communicate to you. But what I think is also very interesting is that the Lovers is a card that, to me personally, it makes me think of telepathy. So they do communicate with you telepathically as well, so you can hear them like with your claircognizant abilities. Maybe you can hear their voices or their messages come to you as a very, very strong and persistent thought in your head. And even here, like we have 2 here, we have 2 spacecrafts here, we have 2 horses here. So I think that you have 2 spirit guides. I think that this represents you. And the reason they're coming through as horses, I think, is because they're like your noble steed. They are here to assist you. They volunteered to assist you in this lifetime. This is coming through kind of funny, but it's like, I think this is a joke. I think this is like their sense of humor. But I just heard like, oh yeah, we volunteered for like an Adopt an Earthling program. So we volunteered to adopt you and help you in this lifetime. I think that that's a joke, or maybe it's not. I don't know how things work on other planets, but definitely they volunteered to help you out. And I do think that these spirit guides are a couple of some sorts, because we do have the Lovers here. And we have these 2 beings coming together in a very intimate way. And then we also have like a white and a black horse, which makes me think of yin and yang, and in fact harmony and balance. That is also a message of the Chariot card. So I think that these 2 guides are twin flames, for example, or these 2 guides are like counterparts of some sort. They kind of go together as a unit. It could be one soul expression into, I don't even know if they're bodies, but in 2 forms. Like there's a yin side and a yang side, but I think there's 2 distinct beings that are guiding you at this time. They're here to help you move forward, and they're here to help you achieve your dreams. And I think that this message is very sweet as well, Saturn with Judgment in reverse, because like we spoke about before, Saturn is here to discipline us. Saturn is here to help us become more mature, to help us learn life's tough lessons, honestly. Saturn is like a little bit of a strict parent. But with this Judgment card in reverse clarifying this, it means that yes, these spirit guides discipline you, but they never do so from a place of judgment. And I think that that's so important. And I've spoken about this a little bit before, but it kind of makes me sad when I see people leaving comments like, oh, I know my guides are so annoyed at me. They must be so sick of me. Or people thinking that their guides are mad at them, or like my guides think I'm a dumb bitch. Like I've seen comments like that before, and it makes me really sad. And maybe that's just that person's humor, or maybe they have that kind of like relationship with their guides where they can playfully throw around words like that. But I hope that they genuinely don't think that their guides feel that way. So I think the message coming through here is that they might be a little bit strict at times, but they are never doing so from a place of like looking down on you or judging you or denying you. And I think that another thing about them is that they will kind of let you learn on their own, and they will let you make your own mistakes, because that is the best way to learn. And so there might be some times, maybe looking back, where you're like, why did this happen to me? Or why did you let me do that? And I think it's because Saturn, it's about discipline. It's about learning the consequences of your own actions. And if we tell you, oh, don't do that, you're going to get hurt, or oh, don't do that, it's not going to end well, that doesn't really teach you anything. And you'll always wonder what could have been. I kind of had, both of my parents kind of had different styles. I think my mom was more of like a just listen to what I say and don't do it. And my dad was more of like a you can do it and mess up and learn to never do it again from your own experience. And that way it's a conclusion that you're drawing by yourself. I did the thing, I felt the consequences, and so I'm learning the lesson and I'm making the choice. Of course, I would be protected from something that could put me in danger, but sometimes we have to just go out there and make our own mistakes. And so that might kind of be the approach that your spirit guides have as well. Like they would be the teacher who doesn't give you the answer because they know deep down that you know it. I know that you can do it, so I'm not going to give you a hint. I know that you know the answer. So they're definitely there to give guidance, but they also really want you to exercise your own free will and practice like decision making and learning, what will this action lead to? What will the consequences be of this path? So I think it's a really nice balance of giving assistance, but also letting you have your own independence. And I think that's what the Magician talks about as well. The Magician is about you. You already have all the answers. You already have everything that it takes to manifest your desired reality. If anything, we're just here to remind you of that and to gently guide you, because here on Earth, in this 3D physical plane, it's very easy to forget where you came from and to forget why you're here and to forget what you're capable of. So we will be a reminder and we will gently guide you, but we're not here to do the work for you, because you already have the capability of doing that. And so if we stepped in and did it for you, that would be robbing you of the joy of creating your desired reality with your own actions, with your own intentions, with your own willpower. That is one of the sweetest feelings of existence. That is one of the most beautiful feelings, to create your dream reality and to say, I did that. I put in the hard work for that. I made this happen. And you are perfectly capable of doing that. And you are in the process of doing that. This is you. You're the Magician. You are the master manifester. You are the one with the infinity symbol above your head, meaning that you have endless possibilities, that you can bring down anything from the heavens onto this earth. And you are equipped with all four of the suits: the wand, the cup, the sword, and the pentacle. meaning that you have everything you need to do this. You have everything you need to succeed, and your hard work will pay off. Whew, you have a very strong team with you, and I love how empowering they are towards you. I think it's also really beautiful that this hermit has the cosmos on them. Can you see, like on their hood, on their cloak, you can see the solar system, you can see the sun and the stars. It's like you have all of this wisdom from the cosmos in you. You have the blueprint within you. Okay, I have to read you guys. I'm kind of embarrassed because I've had this day planner for literally a year. My sister got me this for Christmas last year and I love it. But there's this beautiful poem on the very front page that I had never read before, but I feel like this could resonate for you guys. It's called The Magic of Incarnation. From the gates of heaven, you pour forth into the world. Infused with the 4 elements, you are incarnated through the 12 seas of stars, rippling through space on the great wheel of time, a new soul cycle. You carry with you all knowledge. You are always connected to the great mystery. The stars and planets give you a name. Your blueprint is your compass. Time itself is your child. Your creative potential is infinite. The purpose to truly know oneself and see the interconnectedness of all things. Your DNA carries the key to oneness. Your heart is your greatest ally. Love far and wide. Live life to the fullest. In the blink of an eye, the cycle continues. I just thought this poem was so beautiful, and I'm like, how did I skip over that? But truly, the whole universe is within you, and the camera just went to 3131 as I said this. And oh, that's the number of the Galactic Federation of Light. How sweet. Yeah, you guys, first of all, you guys definitely have some starseed origins going on, but this is them reminding you that you have all the answers. You have all of the wisdom that you need to carry you forward. And this actually came out in the reverse, which is making me think of you coming out of the dark, coming out of the tunnel and finding the light at the end of the tunnel. It's also giving me the feeling of you completing a spiritual lesson. The Hermit is a number 9 card, so the number 9 speaks about the end of a cycle, and the Hermit is also a card about soul searching, spiritual growth, obtaining spiritual knowledge, embarking on a spiritual journey. So with this in reverse, it feels to me like you are completing some sort of cycle, or you are mastering a spiritual lesson. So you're closing off an old chapter. It's very interesting that we had that message with the Tower of the old way of your life, the old cycle of your life is about to fall away. Because you've mastered all the lessons that you were meant to learn in that cycle, and so it would make no sense for it to continue. You're on to something else. It's as if you have finished a grade in school. You're not gonna, if you passed grade 5, you're not gonna go off to summer vacation and then go back to grade 5 again. You're gonna move on to grade 6, because that's just the natural order of things. So it's as if you, as a spiritual student, as a soul who's learning lessons, you're moving on to the new grade. That's what I feel with this Hermit. And there is a feeling of celebration there. So I think not just your spirit guides that are coming through in this reading, but your extended spiritual team. It's like they're all standing around you and applauding you. And I think that something could happen in a few weeks from now that is going to really mark the end of that cycle. But I feel like the time that you're watching this reading, even though this is a date not so far in the future, I feel like at the time that you're watching this reading, you might not see it yet, because clarifying this, we have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So this could be someone who is feeling kind of dissatisfied with life, who may be feeling lackluster towards life, who is maybe struggling to believe in themselves, especially could be dissatisfied with work and financial matters, such that they don't really see this big celebration coming, this big arrival of abundance coming. So I feel like it will kind of surprise you. You know, going back to that hypothetical YouTuber example, they might really not see their big moment coming if they've put up, I don't know, 20, 30 videos and nothing is really taking off. One day they might wake up and realize, not even the most recent video, maybe it's like the third or fourth one that they put out months ago, suddenly has become very successful and has brought a lot of traffic to them, because there was that idea in this group of like you picking up somehow that your future self would thank you for the efforts you put in now and benefiting from effort you put in ages ago. It's almost like you put your intentions into a time capsule for your future self to benefit from. Some of you, if you are creatives, or creative, because even business idea is creativity, you could be becoming very successful off of something that you had originally scrapped, or that kind of got lost in your mountain of drafts. You know, so in the example of a musician, right? Maybe you have a bunch of, half-finished songs, or a bunch of unreleased songs that are like almost done, but you just never got around to getting to the final stages and putting them out. And so maybe you have a library of like 50 unfinished or mostly finished works. And then there's this one from 2013. And you're like, maybe let's finally do something with this. And you're not thinking much about it. But that song that you started in 2013 and finally picked back up again is going to be the big hit. So maybe look, if you are a creator, if you do your own projects, even if it was like a business idea, an idea for a commercial, an idea for a science experiment, whatever it might be, if you go into your archives, there could be some old idea or some old project that you started quite some time ago that is going to bring you great success now. And it's like your guides are saying, who cares if it's old? That's your property. And so you always have the right to go back to it, and you always have the right to use it because you made it, and you made it for a reason. So I guess don't fall into those traps of, the times have changed and maybe this idea isn't going to work anymore. The opportunity for this idea to be put out into the world has passed because the world has moved on. No, you made it at that time for a reason, and it's going to come out at a certain time for a certain reason as well. So, it's a waste to just throw away old ideas just because they're old, which that's kind of a specific message, but I think some of you needed to know that. So we have a couple more oracle decks to use in this reading. So one of them is the fallback deck. We're going to pull a couple of cards from this, and then we're going to finish off with the Spirit Cats deck, which I love very much. It always makes me so happy when I use it. So this is a beautiful, beautiful deck as well. This was sent to me by the creator, Sin. Thank you, Sin. And I just dropped a bunch of them in my lap. Which may be a sign, because, when you manifest things, we say like it fell into your lap. It's very cute too. I just looked down at my lap and I'm wearing cat pajama pants, and I was just talking about the Spirit Cat deck. I hope I'm manifesting a cat in my lap. I miss my cats. I will see them very soon, actually, at the time that I'm filming this. And I hope all of you watching will manifest a fluffy, warm cat in your lap as well. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Okay, let's pull some cards. Okay, so we have sweat it out, get out of your head and into your body, practice yoga, exercise frees the mind. Wait a minute, are these the same? Yes. They are the same, so I feel like that's further confirmation of two guides and also of them being counterparts of some sort, because literally we already have counterparts here, like mirroring souls forming a heart, and then we have two of these, two of the same coming out. So I wonder if you guys have a connection like this as well, because your guides certainly do. But let's see what the other one says. Interesting, meditate. So we have advice to do exercise, to practice yoga, and then we also have exercise to meditate. Make time to just be. Get lost in the moment. A chill you is patient, creative, and happy. That's interesting because I feel like when I exercise, it's a very good time to receive downloads. So that might be helpful for you guys as well. Now let's get a spirit cat, shall we? And I feel like for the, in the spirit of this reading, in the spirit of messages and guides coming in twos, I think I will pull 2 spirit cats for this group. That's another thing. I'm doing this group completely different from the format, well, not completely different, but many things are different from the format of group 1 and the format of how I plan to do this reading. I started off with these 3 cards, which I did not do in group 1, wasn't planning to bring out this deck, and I decided to take reversals exclusively for this group, which I'm probably not going to do that for group 3, and I'm taking 2 spirit cat cards instead of 1. I'm kind of breaking the mold or breaking the format, and I feel like that could also be relevant for you guys, that you don't necessarily have to follow a prescribed set of rules to be successful, and in fact, going a little bit out of the box, doing things a little bit unconventionally could actually be a great strength for you. And for me, it's very easy to use music as an example for this. Most popular songs these days, it's like verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, bridge that is a different melody from the verses, and then the chorus again. Or like verse, chorus, featured artist, chorus, whatever. Like there's that prescribed format, and there's certain chord progressions that we use all the time, usually some combination of like 1, 4, 5, and 6. So people might think, oh, if I want to have a popular song, I have to follow that formula, and maybe they do to be palatable to the masses, but they're certainly not really, well, no, I shouldn't judge people like that, but let's just say they're not adding anything. They're not adding any value or like doing anything that hasn't been done before. And I think that sort of changing the format could be beneficial. Changing the format could benefit you. Changing the format could bring you success. So don't get too attached to like prescribed formats or sets of rules. Okay, let's see what spirit cats. Oh, and I should add there, like, I'm not saying that you have to purposely try to do something different. Like, if you made something that follows the conventional guidelines and you're happy with it, then you don't have to like make it different because like to force yourself to make it different, if that makes sense. I'm just saying, like, if you made something that's out of the box, don't force it back in. You know what I mean? Like, using the musician example, if you made a song that's like 1, 5, 6, 4 chords and it's like the common format and you love it, then don't like tweak it just for the sake of making it unconventional. You don't have to do that. But if you made a song that is very unconventional, sonically, very unconventional in terms of the format, don't feel pressure to make it more digestible. I hope that that makes sense. Okay. Okay, I feel like I have to take this one. Let's take these twin cats. Should we just take the twin cats? Okay, we'll take this one as well. Oh, soulmates, meet moon and mirror. They are perfect reflections of each other. They have so much to teach each other and so much to learn. I like that because it's like moon and mirror. Just as the moon reflects the light of the sun, they reflect each other's light back at each other. They are both emanating and reflecting. Look around. Your friends and family are perfect reflections of you. They are in your dream just as you are in their dream, a perfect paradox. So with each interaction, ask yourself, what do I have to learn from you? What do I have to share with you? What are you teaching me about myself? Remember, we are here to help each other grow. And then, freedom. Meet Lucy. My uncles used to have a cat named Lucy. She was a black cat just like this one. That is so sweet. I miss Lucy. She is awake even in her dreams. One of her favorite things to do is fly in a lucid dream. So we have messages of lucid dreaming. It is the most natural, free, and expansive feeling. You can go to outer space, imaginary lands, deep under the sea, to the top of Mount Everest, even through the earth itself, propelled simply by the power of your mind and your will. This little kitty is calling you to embrace that unbound freedom of flight and dreams. What is your wildest dream? Your craziest, most heart-expanding, joy-filled plan A? If you were completely free, what would you do? So I think there's also a message here of astral travel. Something that might want to reveal itself to you is that you have been astral traveling or you have the ability to do so. And the things that your guides recommended to you, exercise, yoga, meditation, these could be things that help you, perform, successfully perform astral travel, or that help you to have better sleep, which then you can have more vivid dreams or more lucid dreams. And then there's also a very clear message in here that you can literally do anything. You can literally go anywhere, propelled simply by the power of your mind and your will. And that is exactly what the magician was talking about as well. That you can literally bring anything into your experience. You can go anywhere. Your craziest, most heart-expanding, joy-filled plan A. I love that. So these are your messages, my group number 2s. So there's been so much about like 2s and duality, and then I just realized you guys are group number 2. SF, those could be relevant initials as well. The first thing I'm thinking of is San Francisco, SF. But they could be, one or both could be someone's first, middle, or last name initials, or it could be the first letter of a relevant city, like Seoul, country, like France, literally anything, or like the name of a company. But yeah, okay. That is it. My group number 2s. Those are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely check out Tay's video as well if you feel like doing that. As a reminder, she is going to be seeing what you don't see about yourself. And if you enjoy my content and you would like to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Instagram. I post pick a card readings there as well. Although if you're watching this in the month of December, I am taking a break. However, there are quite a few like timeless readings that you could feel free to check out in the meantime. I'm also on Patreon, where we have dozens of exclusive pick a card readings plus 2 new ones every month, and you guys get to choose the topics for those. I have a music channel The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, you can do so over on my music channel. I have that feeling of pressure in my head as if I'm on an airplane, like my ears are gonna pop, which, you know when a plane lands and you feel pressure in your head and it kind of hurts? So that could be a sign for some of you. If anyone's watching on a plane, that would be very cool, but maybe not. And then finally, I have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked down below for you in the description as well as in the pinned comments. I'm also going to have Tay's video linked down there and Tay's socials. And yes, thank you very much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means a lot to me, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your loved ones, to your beautiful spirit guides, and to your whole spiritual team. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number threes. So if you guys chose the Amethyst, this is actually one of the first crystals I ever got, by the way, so this has a special place in my heart. This is going to be your reading all about the truth or truths that are ready to reveal themselves to you. So we're going to start off the reading by taking a look at these oracle cards that I've laid out here. We're going to lay them out in a row, and then we're also going to pull a row of tarot cards underneath to clarify these messages. So let's get started and take a look at your oracle cards. So first we have the waning crescent with surrender. We have romance, loyalty, receive love, intimacy. The power of purpose. New moon. Optimal self. Dense energies must be left behind in order for you to align with higher frequencies. And then finally, we have expect powerful change with the new moon eclipse. Okay, so we have a double new moon energy coming out here. I feel like it's funny that this one comes out after, because a new moon eclipse is like the energy of a new moon but amplified. So it's almost as if this card came out to emphasize just how powerful this new moon is. And of course, the new moon represents new beginnings, clean slates, exciting change happening in our life. We have butterflies on this optimal self card. So I do think that a message coming through pretty strongly right off the bat is that there is potential for you guys to undergo a very powerful transformation, to become a completely new you or to live a completely different life. And that's very exciting. But I'm also noticing we have some messages about release as well, or ending cycles or tying up loose ends. For one, we have the message on this optimal self card that says dense energies must be left behind in order for you to align with higher frequencies. And then we also have this surrender card. And as you may have noticed, this waning moon is the moon, what do you call it? The moon cycle? The moon phase. That's it. The moon phase that happens right before the new moon. So I feel like you, at the time that you are watching this reading, you're right on the brink of this new beginning. Like it hasn't happened yet because there's still some loose ends that need to be tied up in this old cycle, or there are some things that you are holding on to that are preventing this new beginning from happening. Because we do have this advice for you to surrender, to leave things behind. I think that your current energy might be one where you are longing for this new beginning, and the potential is definitely there, but it's like there are still some things that you are attached to that are keeping you from this new beginning. So maybe you're attached to some fears, you're attached to some limiting beliefs, or you're attached to you're attached to a certain story that you tell yourself, or you could also be attached to some traits that might be unhealthy that are keeping you from your optimal self. And it's interesting that we have romance here as well. Okay, I'm gonna talk about both of these cards, like romance and the power of purpose, because I think that for some of you, this reading is about like manifesting the romance of your lifetime, manifesting your ideal partner. For others of you, it might be about finding and pursuing your life's calling. It can definitely be about both, and please feel free to claim any and all of the messages. But the fact that we have these two cards here, like romance and purpose, for some of you, it could be one or the other. But an example that is coming to my mind right now is someone who has, their dream relationship that they want to be in. And they visualize this beautiful, harmonious connection between them and their partner. But that version of them that they are visualizing is not, in fact, the version of them that they truly are right now. It's a healthier version of them. It's a more evolved version of them who is able to be in this harmonious relationship. And so I do think that this reading is calling you out a little bit, or just bringing to your attention that there's still some metamorphosis that needs to happen on your end. And I can use myself as an example for this, because I have this bad trait, which I still do sometimes, of when I'm upset, I just completely shut down. But it's obvious that I'm upset and just won't talk about it, which never leads to anything good in a relationship. In fact, it usually makes things worse, because the other person can tell that I'm upset, but I'm like, I'm fine. And it's like, what, do I think they're dumb? Like, clearly they can tell that something is wrong, but I just get in this mindset where like the thing that I'm upset about doesn't matter, and I'm embarrassed to talk about it, which is a bad trait to have, because it prevents intimacy. Your partner feels like you don't trust them, or that they're not worth opening up to. And it often just makes the problem worse. So if this was me, and I'm imagining my dream relationship where we're so happy together and everything's amazing, if I still have this bad habit, if I still have this toxic coping mechanism of dealing with my emotions, then that version of me that I'm visualizing with my dream partner is probably not the current me. And so there's this message of like, we still have a bit of growing to do. We still have a bit of evolving to do before we can end up the version of us that we see in our visualization. And so I think the reason it feels like a little bit of a calling out energy is because some of us might be in this energy of getting frustrated with the universe, like, where's my manifestation? Where's this thing that I'm dreaming of? And the universe is kind of gently urging us to take a look at ourselves. Like, are you that version of you that you see in your fantasies? Have you become that version of you yet? Or do you still need a little bit more work? It's also, I can also use myself as an example again with like purpose. I've always felt like music is meant to be a really big part of my life. And then when I look at myself, it's not really compatible, because I'm still at a place where I don't really prioritize it or make a lot of time for it. So the universe is saying, like, if you're wondering where your manifestation is or why things are not lining up, take a look at yourself. Take a look at your own habits. There could also be a message here about, for some of you, about needing to let go of a certain relationship in order to become your best self and in order to have this exciting new beginning in your life. And I think that if that's the case, it will likely be someone you're not with yet, like a love interest that you've been holding on to for a very long time, someone that, you know, you're hoping things will finally come through with them. It's been very vague until now. Maybe it's been on and off, or maybe it's a situationship, or maybe someone's been giving mixed signals and not committing. If you're in a situation like that, I do think something that wants to be known to you right now is that we need to let go of this, because it is dense energy. It is energy that is holding you down, so that we can align with the happiest life, and so that we can align with the best version of ourselves. There is another message coming through. Again, feel free to claim any and all of these, but I'm looking at the number 18 and the fact that this is the solar plexus on the Power of Purpose card. The number 18 is making me think of the moon in tarot, which is an energy that tends to make things a little bit muddled, a little bit diluted, like we're not seeing the truth of the situation. And in this context, I'm thinking of the solar plexus as a need to believe in yourself more or do things for you. Some of you guys, and really this could just be some of you guys, but you might be thinking of ending up with someone as your purpose, or like, I'm doing this all to end up with my person. I'm pursuing this career path to end up with my twin flame, as if another person is the be all end all, another person is the finish line. Like, once I end up with them, I know that I've completed my mission. I know that I've made it. And so if you find yourself thinking that way, obviously if you don't think that way, this message is not for you. But if you do think that way, I think something that wants to reveal itself to you right now is that that is not true. You're not on this earth for another person or to end up with another person. That's not to say that you won't end up with them, but it can become very unhealthy when you make that person like your reason for pursuing the things that you pursue. Because then if that person goes out of the picture, it's like you lose your sense of direction, you lose your sense of purpose. And your purpose is you, your destination is you, and it always has been. Which means that you're always right exactly where you need to be, and you're always holding complete, because you have everything you need right here. It's literally you. And I have received messages and read comments sometimes of people who at one point believed really, really strongly that a specific person was their person. You know, like, this is my twin flame, or this is who I meant to end up with. And then when things don't go well, or when they come to see that that's not the case, they go into this spiral of like, what was it all for? Like, why was I even on this spiritual journey in the first place? Why was I doing all this healing in the first place? Or like, why was I pursuing these things? It feels like it was all a lie. And like, that's what can happen when you give so much power to another person on your journey. I think that maybe it's a very specific or few small number of you guys who need to hear that, but I do want to relay that message. And if you've gotten out of this energy, I'm really proud of you. If you got out of this energy and got to a place where you can put yourself first and say, I'm doing it for me. Like, I'm on this spiritual journey for me. And again, that's not to say that you won't end up with a specific person, or that like they can't be a fuel for you or an inspiration for you. But I don't think it's healthy to make them like the end all be all, or like the final destination. Okay, so let's get into your tarot now. So we're gonna pull another row underneath this to further clarify the messages. Okay, so we're starting off with strength. Okay, that makes sense. We have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, there's definitely a theme of clearing away things that don't serve you or walking away from things that don't serve you. We have the King of Wands. The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Cups. And the Five of Wands. Okay. Yes, all of this makes a lot of sense. All of this is quite clear. And I will say I do think it's a very specific group that this reading will resonate for. And it's going to be diving deeper into the stuff that we just talked about. So if everything until now really feels like your situation, then you're good. But I'm just letting you guys know, if you're kind of on the fence of like, is this my reading or not? This seems like a very specific energy. I actually want to start by talking about this here. The new moon eclipse, expect powerful change, clarified by the Five of Wands, because the Five of Wands represents like conflicting energies or incompatible energies or resistance. And so I do think this is a further confirmation that there's potential for this new beginning, but many of you are in resistance to it. And you may have heard before that when you're trying to manifest something, especially manifest with precision like this bullseye, it's very important that all of your energy is pointing in the same direction. So your thoughts are pointing in the same direction, your emotions are pointing in the same direction, your actions, your beliefs are all going in the same direction. That is the most surefire way to manifest something. And so with the Five of Wands here, we see all of the wands going in different directions. So it kind of goes back to the examples I was talking about before, where maybe we're thinking that we're dreaming of like harmony in a relationship, but some of our toxic habits are incompatible with that. So our thoughts and emotions might be not going in the same direction. Or me, where I think I want music to be a big part of my life, but my actions don't align with that. That's conflicting. So it's difficult to manifest under those circumstances. And so there is a message coming through that we need to really think about what direction we want to align everything in and how we are going to do that. Now, over here with the waning crescent, surrender and strength, this is a pretty clear message as well. There is something that you guys are holding on to quite tightly that needs to be let go of. And I think it's something that feels like a battle. It feels like something you need to be strong through or be patient through, like you're being tested. And the truth that wants to reveal itself to you is that you don't have to be strong. You don't have to hold on to this thing. So easy examples of this is like, this person is not committing to me, this person won't be with me, like I've been waiting for so long, but we're having problems or we're not in contact, but I'm going to keep holding on and I'm going to be strong and I'm going to be patient. It's that feeling of sticking it out and feeling that we need to do that because it proves that we're strong, it proves that we're patient. Or I hate this job, but I'm going to hang in there because that makes me a hard worker, because I don't want to be a quitter. It's like a hanging on and hanging in there that is not worth it because it's bringing you more stress than fulfillment. And it's really just depleting your energy. And the message is really, to put it kind of harshly, like stop being strong. You don't need to be strong for this thing. And another kind of odd analogy that is coming to my mind for this is like someone who is lifting very heavy weights, but then they're not eating anything afterwards. Like, you're exerting all your strength, but it's not making you stronger because it's not giving you anything back in return. After you lift these heavy weights, you should get some nutrients, and that's going to make you stronger, and that's going to make your exertion worth it. But when it's a one-sided equation and you're not getting anything back, like that person's not committing to you, or that job is not appreciating you, or that family member is not coming through when you need them, like, it feels like that's not a strength that's worth exerting. That's not a strength that's worth embodying. We have the number 8 here. This is a numerological 8, and we have the number 8 here with strength, so it's a double 8. And 8 is a number that talks about balance. So I guess it's letting go of things that are not giving back to you and that are causing more stress than joy. And that's also something that we need to be really honest with ourselves about. And I think I'm using myself as an example quite a bit because I can relate to this struggle. A few years ago, there was someone I really wanted to be with, but it wasn't happening. And I would often think about whether this situation is giving me more stress or more joy. And sometimes I would think it was giving me more joy, but it wasn't. What was giving me joy was my imagination of what it could be like in the future. Nothing about the current situation was bringing me joy. I was just attached to that idea of what could happen. And sometimes, because I guess I was really good at fantasizing, that joy became so overpowering that I could trick myself into thinking I was happy in that moment. But when I look at the reality of the current situation, no, this is stressing me out. This is not fun. And that's that number 18. That's that moon energy, that kind of deluding energy. We're letting go of the need to be strong, the need to tough it out. And like, let's just make it simple. Let's just make it simple. We have the Queen of Swords, which is about decluttering your life, cutting away things that don't serve you, and taking an objective and kind of harsh look at your life and saying, like, I don't need this. I don't need this stress. I don't need this drama. I don't need these attachments. Like, the Queen of Swords is harsh, but she is here to free you. And it's very interesting that she's coming out to clarify this dense energies must be left behind, because that is sure as hell what she is very good at doing. She's here to help you become your optimal self, but you need to take a look at the harsh truth. You need to take a look at the present reality and look at what is not working in the present reality, what is not making you happy in the present reality, and that has to go. With romance clarified by the King of Wands, this King of Wands could be someone else. So for those of you who are in like an unofficial relationship or situationship, or you have a love interest, the King of Wands can indicate someone who is not committing because they're just focused on themselves right now and they don't want to be tied down in any way. So you could be dealing with someone like this and it's time to let go of them. But I also think that this King of Wands could be you. Like, this could be the universe encouraging you to step into this King of Wands energy, because the King of Wands is someone who puts themselves first, who focuses on their own goals, on their own success, on their own expansion. They are like the boss of their own life, and they're completely free. They're not tied down by anything. And for those of you who are single and who are bothered by that, this could be a message of being grateful for the freedom and independence that you have, and that you can literally go anywhere. You could go anywhere, you could do anything. And I also want to talk about the new moon with the Knight of Cups. For those of you who are in a situation like this, like you have a current person of interest, I do think that someone new is coming in. someone who is committed and someone who is healthier for you. For those of you who are already in a committed relationship, this could be indicating like things reaching a new level in your relationship. And it could be that finally being honest with yourself and getting your ducks in a row and getting all your energy in the right direction to pursue the things that really matter to you, that could bring a lot of happiness and that could bring a lot of harmony in your relationship. Because when your purpose is over here and the things that you love are over here, but your limiting beliefs are going in this way and your actions are going in this way and nothing is lined up, that can create a lot of stress within you, which can then put strain or stress on an existing relationship. So I think the universe is saying, aligning your actions with your desires, aligning your actions with your intentions, aligning your thoughts and your beliefs with your intentions, and really building that peace within yourself could have a wonderful impact on your existing relationships. And then finally, we have this power of purpose message with the Knight of Swords. I think that what this is indicating here, because we have the message of alignment with this card, and then we have the Knight of Swords, which is about like decisiveness. It also talks about speed and directness. I think once you get all of your energies in the same direction, things are going to manifest very, very quickly for you. And I'm thinking of Eight of Wands energy, like things manifesting super fast, which by the way, I feel like saying this, Eight of Wands is Mercury and Sagittarius energy. So something could, I don't even know where Mercury is right now, but when Mercury's in Sagittarius, that could be an important time. But it's like once you put in that missing piece of the puzzle and you remove the resistance, everything's going to happen really, really quickly. So again, using the music example, if you look at the issue is that my actions are not aligned with my desires. I say I want this, but I'm acting this way. It's like the second you fix your actions and start putting effort into that music, your success is going to manifest like pretty much immediately. Once you rectify that energy that's going the wrong way, it fixes immediately. I could also, and maybe this is not a realistic example, and if you're like knowledgeable about the human body and nutrition, you can correct me, but like, I don't know if this is a thing, but let's say you've been having digestive issues, right? And then you find like the one food that is the culprit. It's like the second you stop eating this food, it clears up. Like maybe in real life it takes a few weeks or something, but the energy I'm seeing here is like the second you find what's not working and fix it, everything starts flowing amazingly and things manifest very, very quickly. So this wouldn't be like, oh, I realized that I want to be a musician, but I'm not really doing anything about it. Okay, I'll start putting more effort into it. And then it takes like months from there or years from there. Like the universe is going to send you good luck right away. The universe is going to send you a sign that things are working right away. Like if I want true love, I gotta cut ties with this person who's not committing to me and not making me a priority. You cut ties with them, boom, like the love of your life comes in. That's the kind of vibe. The second you let go, because the potential for this new beginning is here, and really the missing piece is just letting go of this denser energy, letting go of your attachments, the things that you're holding on to that are bringing you more unhappiness than happiness. And you're only holding on for this idea of like being strong or being patient, or you're only holding on because you're getting some joy from the idea of what could be. Like we're not doing that anymore. The Queen of Swords, we need a little bit of like, I guess, realism. Like this is not working. I'm not happy with this. Like I can't fool myself anymore. I'm not happy with this. This is not benefiting my life, and I'm gonna let go of it. And the second you do that, this new beginning can happen. Okay, so we have a couple more oracle decks to take a look at in this reading. So the first one is the fallback deck. What else does group number 3 need to know? Lead by example. Don't react to how others have treated you. Choose who you want to be and your world will transform. Exactly. So it's about changing the version of you, or stepping into the version of yourself that you need to be, and then that will reflect outwards. If you want your world to transform, if you want your life to change, you need to change first. I feel like this is even like lead by example. Show the universe the kind of life that you want to lead by your own actions, by how you show up in the world. And then we have an affirmation. I am not the mind. I am not the body. I am spirit. I am light. I fall to rise. Oh, I'm not the emotion. I'm not the thought. So you are not these things. You are your spirit. And I think that that's so powerful because we've been talking about getting all of these things aligned. So if you're struggling to figure that out, where you really need to come back to is the spirit, because the spirit is the most powerful guide and influencer for all of these other aspects, for the mind, for the body, for your emotions, for your thoughts. I'm thinking of, it's said that if you put a bunch of grandfather clocks in a like lined up together in a room, they will eventually start swinging and tick-tocking in the same time. I don't know if that's true. I've never tried it myself, but in that case, your spirit, your soul is like the biggest big daddy grandfather clock that can influence all the other things, that can influence your mind, influence your body, influence your emotions, influence your thoughts. And it's interesting that there's 5 of them: mind, body, spirit, emotion, thought, because there's 5 wands here that all seem to be kind of jumbled up. And so when you're in an energy like this, it can be kind of hard to know where to start. And I think that this card is saying to start with your spirit. If you want to find out which direction you should go in, you must consult with your own spirit. And it will lead the way. So getting into practices of getting back in touch with your spirit, getting back in touch with your intuition could be very, very helpful. Like doing exercises to strengthen your intuition. Okay, so finally we are going to pull a card from the Spirit Cat Oracle deck and see which Spirit Cat has a message for you. By the way, I'm sure that there are many videos out there and like resources of how to strengthen your intuition, but I made a video on this topic quite some time ago, so it's been a while, but I just felt like mentioning it because it might be useful. And so I might yeah, I don't have a pencil. Yes, I do. I'm gonna make a note to link that video. Group number 3, what else do they need to know? What Spirit Cat has a message for group number 3? Okay, we have illumination. So here is your cat, and she brings the message of illumination. Meet Glow. She shines her warm light into our dark places. She illuminates our fears and our shadows, giving us the courage to face them, to unravel them, and to bring healing. Sometimes it may seem easier to take the long route around the dark forest within, but Glow knows that true ease comes from presence, not avoidance. So carry her with you as you journey into the depths of your heart and soul. Let her loving light warm the places of shame, hurt, sadness, disappointment, anger, and guilt. She can turn the darkest, twisted forest into a golden cove of love. I love this card. I'm familiar with Glow. she comes out quite a bit because I think that a lot of us need to hear this message. I definitely think for this group that there is a need for shadow work, and that might be something that helps you connect to your intuition more, because our shadows, our insecurities speak very loudly. You maybe have heard people say like anxiety screams, intuition whispers, or some variation of that. And it's true, our intuition tends to be quite a soft voice. It's not super like intense and rough and screaming at us. And so when you do have these shadows that are screaming, it can be hard to locate your intuition. And that's not to say that your shadows are bad. Usually they're screaming because they want to be seen. They want attention. That's the way we can release them, not by suppressing them further. And so I think that Glow is here to remind you to meet your shadows with love. And it might be very beneficial if you find yourself attached to something or like unable to let go of something, to ask yourself, what am I so afraid of? What am I afraid will happen? Or what is the bad thing I think will happen if I let go of this thing? And identify that fear, because it may come from an insecurity of yours. It may come from a painful past memory of yours. For the example of someone who is in a job that they hate, but they can't let go of it. Maybe they ask themselves what they're so afraid of. What am I so afraid of that's going to happen if I let go of this job? And there's no right answer, of course. For someone, it could be that maybe they grew up in poverty and they're afraid of losing the security that the job brings them because they're so scared that that will happen again. Or maybe they were really scolded or looked down on by parents, teachers, by people in their life, that they can never see things through to the end, that they're a quitter, that they're lazy. And so quitting a job scares them because it makes them think they were right about me. I give up when things get tough. I can't see things through to the end. So there's something, it's like, really what the universe is hinting is that you will find, if you look a bit deeper, there's things that you're holding on to from fear rather than from love. Like, I'm not holding on to this connection because I love it, because it's making me happy. I'm holding on because I'm afraid of being alone, or I'm holding on because I'm afraid of being wrong. I'm holding on because I want everything to be worthwhile, which we talked about before is not a healthy way to look at it, but we have to be honest with ourselves. Even if our reasoning seems unhealthy, even if our reasoning seems delusional or unrealistic, we have to admit it to ourselves. Because only then will we see the true emotions that lie beneath. So it's about approaching yourself and approaching your shadows with true unconditional love, and letting them know that they deserve to be heard. Because that's why they're screaming in the first place. That's why your anxiety is screaming, or why your limiting beliefs are screaming, because they're saying, look at me. Look at me and really peel back the layers of me, and you will find the emotion that lies beneath. If you get stuck at the level of analysis of like, oh, this insecurity is irrational, or like insecurity is toxic, or whatever it is, like, it doesn't stop there. Hear it out. Even if when you put it into words it seems strange, like, hear it out and keep digging. This is like a deep dive shadow work that's presenting itself, or an encouragement for deep dive shadow work that's presenting itself. And once you shine light on those shadows, and once you calm those screaming voices of fear, that's when you'll truly be able to hear the soft, loving whisper of your spirit. That's when you'll know where you need to go. because there's some things that you're pursuing, some directions that you're going in that you are like fueled by fear. But once those fears are gone, all that's left is to go in the direction of love. Okay, so thank you, Glow, for that message. She goes really nicely with this deck. These are all the messages that I have for you guys, group number 3. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely check out Tay's video if you feel like doing that. Just to remind you guys, Tay is going to be taking a look at what you don't see about yourself. So that's going to be linked down below for you guys. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Instagram, although I am taking a break from that right now, but I post frequent pick a cards there, and I do have quite a few timeless readings that you are welcome to check out in the meantime. You can find me on Patreon, where we have dozens of exclusive pick a card readings plus 2 new ones every month, and you guys get to choose the topics for those. You can find me on my music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, you can do so over on my music channel. And finally, we have merch at kinotarot.com, which features the floating temple that's at the start of these videos, and we have that on hoodies, sweatshirts, mugs, and tote bags. So all that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be linked for you down below in the description, as well as in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting my channel. It truly means so much to me, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your loved ones, to your spirit guides, to your whole spiritual team, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!